You've seen it, right? On your fitness tracker, your smartwatch, even on your phone, that daily goal, that magic number, 10,000 steps. It's kind of become the gold standard for a healthy day. But what if I told you that number has more to do with marketing than it does with medicine? Let's dig into the science and find out what our real goal should be. Let's start with this powerful idea. Think about it. Recent studies have shown that something as simple as walking might be the closest thing we actually have to a magic pill. It can improve cardiovascular health and slash the risks of dementia and cancer, sometimes even better than the medications out there. For decades, this one number has been the unchallenged king of our fitness goals. It's that benchmark that quietly judges our day, deciding if we were active or, lazy. This target is so baked into our culture, it's on all of our apps and devices that we hardly ever stop to question it. We just kind of accept it as scientific fact. But its real origin story is way more surprising. So, you'd think this number came from years of intense research, right? You're picturing a scientist in a lab coat with a clipboard, but the truth is, the 10,000-step rule wasn't born in a lab. It was born in an ad agency. The story actually starts back in the mid-1960s. After the Tokyo Olympics, a Japanese company saw this huge opportunity in the country's growing fitness craze. So, they made a pedometer and gave it a super catchy name that would, pretty much by accident, define daily fitness for the next 50 years. The device was called Manpo-K. That translates literally to 10,000 steps meter. Now, the number wasn't chosen because of any clinical evidence. Nope. It was chosen because it sounded good, it was a nice round number, and get this, the Japanese character for 10,000 looks a little bit like a person walking. It was just marketing genius. Okay, so if 10,000 steps was just a slogan, what does the actual science tell us? What is the real magic number for our health? Well, researchers have been digging into this, and the answers are pretty fascinating. And here's the great news. You start seeing major health benefits way earlier than you'd think. A big study in JAMA Neurology found that just walking 3,800 steps a day was enough to cut the risk of dementia by 25%. Think about that for a second. A 25% drop for what's basically just a short walk. That is a huge return on a very achievable investment. So what's the sweet spot for overall health? Well, a massive review in The Lancet, they looked at almost 90 studies, found that for preventing chronic illnesses like heart disease, the biggest bang for your buck happens right around 7,000 steps. After that, you still get benefits, but they start to level off a bit. And here's where we find the peak of the benefit curve. That same JAMA study found that hitting 9,800 steps a day was the magic number for cutting dementia risk by a whopping 50%. It was also linked to the lowest risk of cancer and cardiovascular disease. So turns out that original 10,000-step marketing number wasn't that far off after all. The science is incredibly clear on this. The more you do, the better it gets. Studies show that for every extra 2,000 steps you take per day, your risk of premature death can drop by 8 to 11%, all the way up to that 10,000-step mark where the benefit is greatest. But here's the thing. It's not just about how many steps you take. It's also about how you take them. While more steps are always good, the research consistently shows that walking with a bit more intensity, picking up the pace, gives you an extra boost of risk reduction, especially when it comes to preventing heart disease and cancer. So knowing the science is one thing, but how do we actually fit this into our busy lives? Let's break down a plan for getting over those common hurdles that just stop us from getting started. The American Heart Association points out all the usual suspects. I don't have time is the classic, right? But things like a lack of motivation or just not having anyone to do it with can be just as good at keeping us on the couch. But check this out. Here's a simple, totally doable plan to get going. First, just figure out where you are right now. What's your baseline? Then just try to add about 1,000 steps. That's only like 10-15 minutes of extra walking. From there, you just gradually increase that goal every few weeks. And hey, remember to pick up the pace for some of that walk to get those extra intensity benefits. Okay, now that we have a plan, let's talk about the tools. Because today, we have some incredibly powerful motivators right in our pockets that can turn walking from a chore into something that's actually fun and engaging. The big shift has really been the rise of these step challenge apps. They use what's called gamification, competition, rewards, and that feeling of social connection to make it way easier and more enjoyable to stick with your goals. It's all about building a community around a shared goal. And if you look at how these apps are designed, you can see the clever psychology behind it. Features like leaderboards tap into our competitive spirit. Team challenges build that sense of camaraderie and accountability. In-app chats give you support, and reward systems give us that little something extra to keep going. And this isn't just for individuals. Large organizations, even entire cities, are using these same ideas to promote public health. You see events like New York City's September Billion Step Challenge, and it just shows you how effective and popular these gamified wellness programs have become. So, after all of that, what's the bottom line? It's actually beautifully simple. Don't get hung up on 10,000. Any steps you take are a massive win for your health. Seriously. And if you can pick up the pace for some of them, that's even better.
So the myth is busted, and the science is clear. The benefits of walking are absolutely undeniable, and they're way more accessible than we ever thought. So now the only question left is the one you have to answer for yourself.